Hello YouTube and welcome back to the Drunken Kobold. Today we are reviewing Bestiary 3 for Pathfinder 2e. Bestiary 3 came out on March 31st, 2021, however ours arrived a little later, so we haven't had quite as long to look over all the content of this book to do this review, but we do hope that you do get the gist of this book and can make an informed decision on whether or not this is a purchase for you. Bestiary 3 contains 324 new creatures compared to Bestiary 2, which came in at just over 350, and Bestiary 1 at just over 400. NPC options for almost all of the ancestries that were featured in the Lost Omens Ancestry Guide feature in Bestiary 3. I am on the fence on whether this was a necessary inclusion or if this was just filler and fluff, but I'll leave that up to you guys to decide. A large theme of this book revolves around Asian-inspired monsters, perfect for Tianza or a Pathfinder version of Karantur. Everything ranging from kami, lung dragons, and terracotta warriors features in this book. This is just in time for Fist of the Ruby Phoenix, which will most likely make use of a lot of the creatures in this book. However, this book does give a lot of creature options for those who want to expand on the adventure path with homebrew content. The upcoming Guns and Gears book appears to be getting some love from this book too, including 5 new clockwork creatures, including a personal favorite, the Clockwork Dragon. The ability to tie core rule releases into upcoming supplement books and expansions is fantastic, so huge props to Paizo for that. In addition, this book doesn't just support upcoming releases, but also supports ongoing fantasy tropes with new demons and devils, giants and titans, elementals and undead, and the aforementioned lung dragon themed dragons, which can fit into almost any fantasy game. One thing I am personally disappointed in is the lack of new dinosaurs in Bestiary 3. Paizo had been doing so well in supporting dinosaur-loving fans, but with so many fan favorites still missing from the game and no support in this book, the future of our extinct friends in Pathfinder 2e is uncertain. New creatures isn't the only thing that Bestiary 3 brings us to the tabletop. Brand new mechanics also feature here, including troops. Troops is a mechanic that allows smaller creatures to act together as a larger creature for game simplicity, similar to swarms. But troops are usually made of sentient creatures like humans and elves, as opposed to pests like insects and vermin. What are some of the downsides of this book? One of the biggest downsides in this book for me is that this book, like Bestiary 2, is considered a core rulebook. While Paizo leads the way by far in the sheer amount of monsters available to GMs, one plus of D&D is that Volo's and Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes are not considered core books, and therefore any monsters featured in those books that feature in official published adventures have also their stats in the adventure. Whereas adventures from Fist of the Ruby Phoenix onward are going to assume ownership of this book and will require it to run said adventure from start to finish. Retail is $49.99 US or $14.99 for the PDF, which I will include a link to in the description down below. All things considered, I am giving this book an 8 out of 10. Paizo's ongoing commitment to quality, the array of included monsters, as well as the sub-themes and new mechanics make this book a worthy inclusion to any RPG collection. I just can't get behind how many books, though, Paizo is making core rules, and that the ongoing adventures assume ownership of these books. This is going to make players and GMs who have a limited budget to spend towards Pathfinder 2e want to move to other games which have a limited amount of core rulebooks and then expand on those core rulebooks with optional books, whereas Pathfinder 2e requires at this point a very decent sized collection in order to be able to play the published adventures. Do you agree with my assessments? Let me know in the comments down below. If you feel I deserved it, please leave a like and consider subscribing. In the meantime, cheers and may the rolls be with you.